me to him. So I didn't get a chance to watch the market live, but I can look at this and be honest with you and tell you that I probably would have sat there the entire day and done nothing, just watched it. I could only look at it over my shoulder as I was pacing through the house because the conversation went longer than I wanted it to, but I didn't want to be rude to him because he was friends with a mutual friend of mine. But I guess when you see a big move like this, the natural tendency is to want to ask someone that has been doing it longer. And the questions are like, okay, did you trade today? Did you take a trade today? How much did you trade? What was the amount of leverage that you used? Did you use a stop loss? What was your targets? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? And where do you see it going, in a week or two? And I guess it's like if I was on a question and answer, like say I opened this up and all these people in here that have been requesting to talk to me, which I never let you do that, by the way. The questions would be probably similar to that, like, what's the next trade? Like, what's the next idea? And that kind of tells you where someone's development is right now. The folks that aren't interested in understanding what just took place, why it's important, how it's likely to repeat in the future the same way, the folks that just simply want to know what's the next move, what's tomorrow's buys. Am I buying tomorrow? Am I selling short tomorrow? What's the target? That to me is a little disappointing because not only have I already proven myself in that regard, but it really what you're doing is you're saying, okay, I'm not interested in learning how to do this. I'm not interested in going through all your long, boring videos. Um, my time's better served with just simply expecting you to just pony up a trade idea. Or even worse, you get folks that come in and say, well, I'm not going to believe you unless you get on the leaderboard on the FTMO. Okay, if you need that, then, good luck to yourself because I'm not interested in doing an FTMO. Like, I'm not interested in that at all. But for folks that want to just simply know what the next trade idea is, you're really sounding off in the most obvious manner that you have absolutely got to the point or not willing to leave the initial uncertainty of what it's going to take for you to learn how to do this. You just simply want someone to hand deliver you a trade idea. And I could do that every day, and it still would be somebody else changing their account and saying, okay, I'm just going to ask him as someone else because I just want to have a signal service and me act as an oracle. I don't want to do that. It's not fulfilling to me, and you're not learning anything from it. You really aren't learning anything from that. What have you learned so far this year by me just simply telling you where it's going to go? Did it make you a better trader? No. It just gives you little moments in time where this logic is valid, but you still have to find your entry. You still have to define the risk. And how are you, the person listening right now, how are you going to determine when you're going to take your first partial? Because we're not going to have the same first partial. None of us are. You're all going to have some reason as to why you're taking off some, if you're going to take a partial. And what's your target going to be at the end? Where is terminus for you? Where's the last bit of the juice that's going to come out of that lemon that you're in there trying to squeeze the life out of? Where is it going to be the end for you? Because it's going to be different from all of us. So this is why I don't like to do those types of follow me, copy me type trading teaching. Because the logic that I'm going to subscribe to on that specific fractal and whatever time frame I'm utilizing, you don't have that. And because I'm trading with ultra small time frames, the decision processes that I'm going through, I don't have the luxury of completely outlining everything as it's happening because it's fluid. It's like it's happening right then and there. Sometimes I have the ability to annotate the chart and kind of tell you what's going to happen. Other times it's going to move too quickly. And you're not going to learn from that. It may be inspiring to you, it may encourage you, but that level of being able to replicate that yourself to the exact degree, I don't ever promise that. In fact, I'm telling you that's not going to happen. What you're going to find is what you're comfortable with taking in terms of a trade and where your entry is going to be based on the same logic, but how you manage when you're going to move your stop. Are you ever going to move your stop? How much of a partial are you going to take? You see, all these questions are a unique thing that's what makes you your independent thinking trader. Like you are the person in control. The driver's seat is yours. The steering wheel is in your hands, and the results are yours, good or bad. Most of you in here simply want me to give you the easy stuff so you can feel like you did it yourself. Wow, yeah, I did awesome today. I followed everything he did. What does that mean? You didn't do anything. You didn't put any thought behind the trade. You have no idea. You're just blindly just taking it and hoping I'm right. Man, I hope ICT's right today. Good grief. What happens if he goes into a 10 losing trade tailspin today? And I go in and I don't see it happening that way. And then I over leverage my account because I want to get it back in 1/4 of the move he's expecting to have in the next trade setup. And then that goes into a tailspin. Now you've wrecked yourself. And you'd find some way to blame that on me. It happened on America Online, folks. That kind of stuff happened. I learned from that. No matter what I do, if it's me placing a trade in your hands, you will not learn from that. You won't. And you cannot learn from teachers and mentors that are going to tell you today was an ideal trading day. Because the morning session, that was murder. That's what it looks like when you go into the slaughterhouse. You fall victim, or you escape it just by the skin of your teeth. Whew, that's that bullet. Wow, I could have got really felt poorly on that. And then how do you manage that? What happens if you would have put an order in and it filled you 50 handles below the high? Are you going to sit here and tell me that you're going to have the confidence to think there's no way it's going to retrace any bit of that 50 handles? It's just going to be a steady drop from there. You don't know that, and I didn't know that. But it's easy to look at the chart now because you're home from school, you're home from work, you woke up from your slumber that normally occurs during the time that that move probably happened. And it looks so easy. It looks so obvious now because it's hindsight. You don't have any of the adversities of having to put that trade on with real money or with a demo account and having pride and ego be there as the equity. You know, the ones that you always reset your demo account and paper trade account with because it sucked. That's where you are. And if that's where you are, you have a lot to learn. But you don't go into learning and developing beyond where you are by looking at days like this and thinking to yourself, yeah, I could have been a part of that move. No, not this morning. You wouldn't have. You would not have been in any of that move this morning with anything that I teach. And if you're in here trying to force and form fit something, I'm telling you, you're wasting your time. It's not there. Trust me, it's not there. So why are you beating yourself up about it? Why are you depressed? You're depressed. Some of you are literally depressed because you were unable to participate in that big monster decline today. I promise it's going to be moving around tomorrow. Thursday and Friday, and next Monday, it's going to be moving around, folks. There'll be new opportunities. That one day today is not your entire career compressed into one day. And I used to do that. I used to do that a lot. 20 some years old, coming home from work, tired, hating life. Missing a move. If I wasn't in that stupid truck, I could have got that move. No, that's not a guarantee. Just because I saw it on my chart doesn't mean I could have been a participant in that move. But that's the type of stuff I used to fill my head up with. And it would make it worse. And then the next day, what am I feeling? Regret, anger, impatience. You know what? Yesterday it moved a lot. So you know what? I'm going to get my pound of flesh today because I'm going to make it move like that. I'm going to get in a trade and it's going to do the same thing it did yesterday. No logic behind that, just simply me being stupid and 20 years old. Going right at the opening. As soon as the market opened up, Fox Investments. How can I help you? H desk. 1 second. H desk. Account number. Password. Okay, what can I do for you? Give me 12 bonds at the market. I'll wait for my fill. Where's the logic in that? I just got to get in there because I am mad that I didn't catch that 5-point move in the bond market the previous day. A $5,000 move per contract. I missed it. So, damn it, you owe me. So I'm going to go in there and do something. That's what this type of thought process creates in people that don't have control over themselves. And when I was 20, I had absolutely no control. I was that little boat out there in a storm, no rudder. Wherever my emotions would take me, that's where I ended up. And these types of days, left to a neophyte, will create all of these toxic what if thinking. What if I would have done this? And what if I would have done that? And you carry that over into the next trading session and it creates what? Chaos. That's why I adopt the rule. When there's a big move like this, whether I'm a participant or not, I cannot take the morning session trade. Will it have a setup tomorrow morning? It probably will. Will I engage it tomorrow morning? No. But wait a minute, you're ICT. Yep. And that means I have rules. That's why I'm able to say what I think is going to happen, and it happens most of the time. Plan A, plan B. Not buy or sell, and then here it is, it worked out in my favor. I'm not showing you charts with a scribbly line that shows up arrow or down arrow, and come on, that's useless. Anybody can do that. It has to be one-sidedness, and I have to know where it's going. Not a general direction, a level, a specific level. I'm looking for liquidity, and that's what it's going to target. And if I don't have that, I'm being still. And I don't feel uncomfortable being still. When I first did first year mentorship and I was doing live sessions every single day, seeing 800 people, in a chat room that you're in with, GoToWebinar, and they're all expecting you to see their question. Oh, I saw them. They were flying by, real quick. There's no way I could have stopped and read all of them. But they've all paid, and they're in here expecting to have their question answered while I'm watching live Forex price action. Now, I'm not sure if you ever had 800 people come at you with different questions all at the same time, and you understand that they have paid you, so there's an obligation on your part, and you feel that because some of them are very assertive. They're saying, I've asked this question now 6 times or 8 times, and you keep ignoring me, and you can't focus. That same type of individual is the same person that's going to look at a day like this and think to themselves, I would have been a part of that, but I missed it. And they're going to carry that anxiety, that depression, that rage that they missed that move. And they're going to do something tomorrow or the next trading day. And when they make that error, they're going to think to themselves that it's this stuff that they're trying to trade with doesn't work. Oh, these fair value gaps don't work. Oh, these order blocks, come on. When it's the driver. See, you're trying to get somewhere like a person with road rage. And I can talk about road rage because I experience it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I told you that. Guy went to run over top of my Corvette with his pickup truck. Somebody's getting their ass beat. But that's just me. But you can't have these feelings about missed moves, missed opportunities, and big range days. Folks, there's a funny thing that repeats a lot in these marketplaces. Small ranges bring large ranges, and large ranges bring small ranges. And there's a pattern in that repeats over and over and over again. And you can predict when there's going to be large ranges based on the economic calendar, medium and high impact news events. So all this stuff repeats. There's no reason for any of you to have any kind of anxiety or depression or feeling any regret of missing today's move. None whatsoever. The markets have not stopped working. They haven't decided to, hey, look, we can't have big moves anymore. And we did it all today. Like, this is it. Guys, listen. Chicago Mercantile Exchange, they sat around the table today. They said, look, a lot of the smart guys in this crew here came to the decision that, we have to subscribe to. Big ranges can't fucking happen no more. Like, this is it. We can never have another large range day. And that's just the way it's going to be from now on. And everybody out there trading, they're just going to have to take it. There's nothing they can do about it. And we set the rules here, so we're just going to have small ranges from now on. It doesn't work like that, folks. We're going to have big ranges again. And sometimes you'll be a participant in them, and other times you'll miss them too. And guess what? You'll be back to thinking about this same analogy here and thinking to yourself, I'm worried about this for no reason. You're trying to push your entire career into one day. Like, this is it. Like, if you would have sold the high and held it to the low of the day, are you saying that that's it and you never would have taken another trade ever again? Like, that's it? That's you. That's you. Your entire career right there. You aced the entire daily range on a big range day like this, 170 plus handles. You've done it all now. Going to Disneyland next. That's what you're saying, right? Of course not. So why would you look at it from the perspective that you missed the move, so therefore you're a failure? That's not sound logic. You can't look at that like that, and you can't look at any of your trading where it should be encapsulated in one trading day. The only people that do this or do things like that are the people that blow their accounts. Think about this now. When I was 20 years old, every single time that I blew the live accounts, I did that with that mentality that it has to all come together today. It has to be today. This trading day has to be it. It's a be all end all. Like, I gotta fucking make money on this day or it's done. I'm never gonna make money outside of this day. This is gonna be it. I gotta do every bit of the profit I'm ever gonna have in my trading career on this day. And damn it, as long as I got trading hours, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do every bit of winning trades in this day. Make sure the front door is locked, son. It's all right. That's Cameron. So he's working his menial job. I make these boys work. I make them work. And some of you clowns out there that want to try to give me parental advice, save it. Okay. Let your kids go to college. Hopefully they'll get a good career. That's fine. My boys won't need to do that. But they have to know what it feels like to be uncomfortable. That means working jobs that suck. And I don't mind them doing it because it builds character. It lets them appreciate the folks that have to do that. But man, I could go down so many rabbit trails right now. Stay on focus, Michael. So don't miss the point in all this today. Okay. I don't want you to think that you're going to have the ability to capture every single day because I don't. The human in me, the person that wants to be better than I was when I was 30, better than I was when I was 35, better than I was when I was 45. You know, that person that competes with my younger self every day. You know, I'd like to believe that I'm at the highest form of speculator that I've ever been. And right now, in my present state, I believe I am. But I am not oblivious to where I made mistakes when I was younger. And when I was 20, every single time I blew a live account, it was with this mentality of, okay, I got to make it all happen today. And usually it would be on the heels of something like the morning move where I missed it. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, it's gonna really go further. And then I would get in chasing it. And then a small little move. And I'm talking such an insignificant, minor fluctuation go against me just a little bit. And I would come unraveled. Like it didn't even come close to a stop loss. It didn't even come near it. But because I was poorly positioned, my entry sucked because I chased it. I'm driving around trying to fill up these vending machines. 20 years old. I'm hot. My air conditioner doesn't work in the truck. I had every possible disadvantage going on. Like, I don't think anybody could have ever done what I was trying to do, ever. But in my mind, as a 20-year-old, because I understand you guys that are 20, you think your shit doesn't stink. You think you're going to be the one. I'm telling you, you're going to be just like everybody else. And I was just like everybody else when I was 20. This is what happens when your parents and your uncles that are older than you, and they tell you, yeah, okay, we listen to your bullshit. You're going to do something. You're going to do that. You're going to do that. We know, just like we felt that same shit when we were younger. Wait till you really try to do that stuff, and you'll learn. Then you get wisdom. I'm not saying you're going to fail, but you think you're going to be different. And I thought I was going to be different too. I'm different. I'm built different, but it took a long time to get here, and a lot of adversity and a lot of lost money. A lot of you would have quit way beyond well, not beyond, but way before the things I put myself through. I'm not trying to lift myself up. I'm just saying I just wasn't going to quit. I wasn't quitting. And a lot of folks at 20 years old aren't going to put up with adversities that this industry is going to put on them unless they're taught to view things correctly. And one of the things that always is the case with blowing accounts, you're forcing your hand in such a small little interval of time. It might not be just that one day. It might be in a series of 2 days or 3 days or that trading week because you're not fucking closing this week with a loss. You're going to come back because you all love Rocky. You got the Rocky theme going on. You're down 65% because you didn't fucking listen. You didn't use a stop loss. You're trying to do everything in the world, adding more indicators, changing the settings, checking YouTube. Who's doing what right now? Oh shit, he's doing that in the Eurodollar. Let me go over here and do that. You're all trying to do something like it's going to be the magic, ingredients to everything, and you blow your account because you're pushing all of your career. Your whole career now is in the next few decisions. And guess what? You're actually shocked when the result of those decisions amounts to, yes, your career is dusted. You blew another count because you're trying to do something that is impossible. You're putting something on yourself as a trader, as a speculator, and you're trying to insist upon you being perfect in all circumstances that you're in right now. The market's going to be perfectly in sync with you, and you're going to be in sync with it. It's not going to have zero drawdown. You're not going to have any anxiety, and you're going to get the maximum out of the move after you've missed the initial move, or after you have taken trades that have caused drawdown. Some of these things are painfully recognizable. These are the things you like to ignore and pretend they never happened, but you have to endure them, embrace them, and learn from them. That's how I got where I am today. I didn't run from that stuff. I journaled it, I read it, I lived it, and I said, okay, what am I doing? Every time I blew an account in 20, what the fuck do I got to do to fix this? And I found that it was me doing, like today, you're probably thinking about the marketplace. And for those that have maybe went in and chased the price and got hurt, this means something to you. It resonates with you. Or maybe today you didn't do something, but maybe because I told you I wasn't doing anything and I'm done, that was an encouragement for you to say, you know what, if ICT's not doing it, I sure is fucking touching it in. Well, that's good. I'm glad you listened. If I'm not doing something, that's one of the best things for you to copycat. But you're going to see folks come up behind the scenes. They weren't there calling the move. They weren't there saying, I'm doing this. Here's my entry. Here's my stop. Here's my target. They're going to come back after the fact and say, oh, you didn't do anything. Oh, you're silly. Oh, ICT doesn't have a trade. But we were nowhere to be found when it was hot and heavy and we could have done something to prove we knew what the fuck we were doing. See, there's all kinds of armchair quarterbacks. They're all going to come in after the fact. And don't let that stuff bother you. Because again, these are the same people. They're always going to come after the fact. They're always going to show you screenshots of something that they had 15 examples of running, but they're going to share it after the fact. Say, here's the trade I was in. Why didn't you call it out in the Twitter when I said I wasn't touching it anymore? That's what's lacking all the time. But some of you are so new, it's easily taking your attention away from the obvious. You're distracted easily because you're trying to find a person right now with a hot hand. I don't have a hot hand. I have a steady hand. My hand is steady. I know my stuff repeats. I don't need to have my things unfold in one particular day for me to establish dominance. I don't have to be here every single day doing something. I can pick and choose what calendar events that I'm going to participate in and navigate the entire month like that and be okay with it and be okay with people thinking it should have been better or I should have done more or why did I do this and why did I do that? I'm not here to be criticized. I'm not here to be scored. I'm not here for that. And neither should you be. But you, as the driver, you're in the captain's chair and you're sailing that ship. Your destination is success. But success isn't a one port destination. It's multiple stops continuously. So you got to stop thinking about your trading day or your next trade. That's the final destination. So you have to look past that. You have to look past the results of the next trade. Because if that next trade doesn't arrive at success, you're not surprised. You're not taken back by it. You're not affected by it. It doesn't sink your ship. But days like this, even when you didn't participate, these are the fertile grounds for chaos. And folks, let me tell you something. Go to bed with a fertile mind like days like this would create, and think about how, oh, I'm gonna go in there and I gotta fix this feeling I've missed something. Well, how do you do that? Run out there tomorrow and press a button too fast without thinking about it. And then as soon as you lose, you know damn well why you did it. It's what I talked about here tonight. And when you do it tomorrow, and some of you still will, it's going to hurt even more now because I told you, and you still can't control yourself. It's not the method that's failing, it's you. You're a captain that has no navigation skills. That's all I'm lending you. My experience behind the wheel. I've been through these waters before. I know where the tide gets a little rough, and I know when there's icebergs. Just don't go out there tomorrow trying to prove yourself. Just relax and go slow. You have plenty of opportunities ahead of you. We have plenty of week left. We have plenty of month left. The fall is just about to start. Like these are the times when the market gets really nice. And don't let this one day trick you into thinking this is the entire move. There's nothing else after this. That's not true. So you just got to relax. When it took off this morning, I turned to my son and he had like bug eyes, just sitting there like really big eyes. I said, look how fast that thing moved. Like a deer in headlights, just staring at the chart he was. And I just smiled. I was like, yeah, it really quick. He goes, it didn't even give you a chance to do anything, Dad. I was like, I know. But I'm glad I recorded it. I'm glad you got a chance to see it in real time because, again, market replay, that's not the same. You will not see it the same way that it was done live. And there's absolutely no way these crackerjacks out there that pretend that they're sniper entries here and sniper entries there, and they're getting in always at the high ticks on these high impact news events. I'm calling bullshit. Okay. Because believe me, if it was possible, I would have did it. And you can see how fast it was today. It just simply would have never given you a ticket. You would have been sitting there watching it run away like I did. So the moral of the story is this. Your trading career is not a one-day event. It's not a one-week event. So don't treat it like that. Missed moves is a profitable trade every time. Every single time. It has zero drawdown. That's the best fill. A missed move is a perfect trade because you have no drawdown. You have no negative impact psychologically because it didn't take anything from you. You don't pay any commissions on that. You don't pay any spreads on that. It is a learning experience. It's all upside. But think about how you view this day. Before I said what I just said, how do you look at this day? Oh man, I missed this. Man, I could have done a lot with that day. If I just would have had part of it today, that would have been great. You're filling up your head with all this toxicity instead of looking at it like you should. You didn't weather anything that was painful. You didn't pay any commissions. You didn't suffer a loss. You didn't have the anxiety of being in the market for real and not knowing where the hell to get out at. And you know damn well you wouldn't have had a stop on. Where would you have put it? Hello. What logic would you have used to place a stop loss in this morning's move? It was just gone. So wherever you would place a stop loss, it would have been wrong. There's no reason to put it wherever you would have tried to put it because it's a move that's been chased. So you never would have put a stop loss on. And that's the reality of it all. You have to be sober and honest with yourself. That's what journals are for. So on a journal entry like today, you should be thinking to yourself, hey, you know what? This was an amazing move. Lots of volatility, speed, ridiculous amounts of speed. But I am so thankful that I did not get in there today and find harm or suffer a loss because of the velocity that this market presented. And there was no way for me to engage it. So I'm happy that my model did not put me in a position where I was suffering a loss, drawdown, anxiety. And that's how you treat it. And on Saturday or Sunday, when you reflect on it, when the market's not trading, you come back to that entry and look at it and look at how the week of the market closed. And you reflect on how it makes you feel. What are you going to be reading on the day like today? You're going to be reading that you're positive. I'm glad I did not suffer a loss. I'm glad that my model didn't put me in a trade that was a losing trade. I didn't have any anxiety because I didn't get a valid setup. Yeah, the market moved, but it didn't give me a valid setup. So I didn't have anything to regret. See how disarming that is? That's self-talk. That's positive self-talk. Some of you simply just want to troll yourself. Oh, I'm never going to get this. I'm so stupid. When am I ever going to learn how to do this? For fuck's sake, I've watched 50 videos of this guy and I still can't get to work. I know how it feels sometimes, man. I know. But it's hard to stay positive. And the key, self-talk. You do it in your journal because you're going to refer back to that at the end of the week. And you'll also refer back to it when you have periods of drawdown. When you're going through periods of drawdown, one of the things in your journal, like maybe on the inside cover of it, when you had a really good week and just an upbeat, positive week, you want to write those dates down and just keep a running tally of that. And then when you have a period of drawdown where you're taking losses or you're in a rut, you just can't find your groove, because that's going to happen too. Not necessarily moving into the market and taking losses, but just simply not being able to engage. Just moves constantly happening and you're not in it. You're going to want to find periods where you can go back and say, this was a high point. Let me read how I was entering my journal entries at that time. And you'll relive that moment again because it's in your own words. And that is what helps you get carried through these rough patches. Don't listen to me and let me be your only source of encouragement. You got to find that in yourself, and you do that through your journaling. No one's going to be able to empower you and inspire you better than your own experiences where you walk that walk. Nobody can take that from you. Nobody can minimize it. Nobody can strip it away from you. Those experiences are real. You logged them. You lived it. You were there in the moment. And when you capture that in your own words, using positive self-talk, never putting negative things in there like, oh, I'm never going to learn how to do this. I'm stupid. This is too hard. They're negative reinforcements that your subconscious is going to retain. So if you're feeding yourself positive feedback, that positive feedback loop that continuously delivers that same effect when you go back and refer to these positive entries on an event that wasn't really profitable by monetary terms, but you're coming out of that experience with a positive outlook. You weren't derailed by it. You didn't take a losing trade. You didn't even engage because your model didn't give you a setup. How are you going to complain about that? But some of you still try to do it. And all I'm trying to do is just get your bearings back and set your compass the right way. Success is in front of you, but sometimes you get distracted. You want to look off to the starboard or port side, and you spend too much time looking over there, you'll get off course, and your journey becomes longer than it needs to be. So hopefully this was a little bit of incitement to stay focused and not beat yourself up too much. And if that was, what you encouraged yourself through with doing what I'm telling you to do with your journal entry, that's good. But if it doesn't inspire you and you find things like this or these discussions not helpful to you, I don't know how to fix it for you. Yeah, I don't know what else to do for you. Like I have no other magic wand. I have no other recipe. I don't have another silver bullet. It's just a hard task to overcome yourself because you're the person that's stopping you from being successful in this. I've already given you a model that works. I've already given you tools and a roadmap. But if you choose not to follow the roadmap and you choose to make your own course, your own pathway, the duration is going to be longer and the adversities are going to be harder. And you're going to probably be a whole lot more anxious doing it differently because you're trying to reinvent the wheel instead of just submitting to the process, which admittedly is hard. It's hard. But everybody that gets there goes through it. Sometimes folks come in and they want to do it a little bit different. They want to do it their way. I'll take a little bit of this, I'll take a little bit of that, and then I'll call it mine. This is my approach. I took a little bit of this approach to what ICT does. I talked a little bit about what this guy over here talks about, and then I have a Frankenstein kitchen sink approach to it. And you'll share the hit and miss times where it works, but it just won't be consistent because you're not doing what I've taught you. And that's not to say that there aren't other profitable traders or teachers out there. I'm sure there are. Okay. But I don't want you trying to mix other things here because the things I'm teaching you, that is the market. That's the market. It might not be flashy, it might not be extravagant, but it is the market. And if you warm up to the idea that boring is the best, let your results be that spice. But doing the whole process of learning how to be a profitable speculator, that has to be boring, man. That has to be boring because if it's any kind of emotion whatsoever that sends you to a state of euphoria, now I'm not saying it doesn't feel good when you are learning and it pans out in your favor. That's a natural thing. You'll feel good, you'll feel encouraged. But coming into this thinking that you're learning every single day, every aspect of learning how to do this has to be a sugar high, they're the individuals that don't stick with it. I'm honest with you. I'm telling you, everybody that ever dropped out of mentorship, they are the ones that were always chasing Instagram level type stuff. Pop sugar. Entertain me. Well, go watch a movie. Okay. Go read a book or something if you want to be entertained. If you want to learn how to make a lot of fucking money, you just pull up a chair, show up every day, and the rest will take care of itself. Until I talk to you next time, be safe.